Yes.
Would you mind letting people know about the lion and the bear, and whether you're a lion or a bear, and why that's important?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we first of all, we always have to be very mindful of what, you know, what progress is we're trying to achieve. But we do have lions and bears, and I guess the bears are those who, even on a low carb program, you know, on a defeat diabetes program, may really see the progress is quite slow. And the bears tend to be people who have a lot of visceral fat. So that's that real insulin resistant visceral fat in the organs, around the belly. And it is a lot harder to shift. The body has to kind of really work its way through that. We call it hard log wood. It takes a long time to burn. And so you may be on your low carb journey and following your defeat diabetes program and not always seeing those results straight away. And it's important to be, and I know everyone hates the word patient, but it is important to be really patient, because if you are a bear and you've got a lot of visceral fat, and you've had this pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance for a very long time, it's just going to take time. So you have to look at those little small wins, and maybe it's not a scale win. Maybe it's simply the glucose is slowly dropping, and it doesn't matter whether it's dropping only, you know, 0.1 or it's dropping 1 millimole. It's about progress. I always say progress is progress, no matter how small it is. Maybe there's other wins you're having in terms of your energy's feeling better, or your digestion's feeling better, your brain fog's gone. So make sure you lap up all the small wins, because if you are a bear, it can be frustrating. And then we've got the lions. And I often always, you know, if I have a husband and wife coming in, you know, I always think, oops, one's going to be a bear and one's going to be a lion. And that means one of them's going to lose quickly and the other one isn't, even though they're doing the same thing. And that's always very frustrating. And it's often the male, because they have more muscle mass, tend to seem to be more of the lions, where they drop weight quicker, but it can be either or. So if you're a bear, be mindful, you've got to get rid of the visceral fat. It is hard log wood. It takes time to burn. If you are more of a lion, then you've got maybe subcutaneous fat. That's just the fat that's kind of sitting under the skin. We call it the wobbly stuff. And I call that kindle. And kindle burns really, really quickly. So they don't have to really burn through that hard log wood. So they'll get results, particularly if they're looking at scales, a lot quicker. So, you know, be mindful if you're a bear to be patient and be kind to yourself and look for small wins. But just know that your body's different and that you've got the visceral fat to shift through. At the clinic, we do body composition tests, and all the time we see people coming in and they're feeling great, and they're getting some great wins internally. We do a body scan and we can see their muscle mass is going up and their visceral fat is shifting, but they're just not getting those big wins on the scale straight away. But they're usually always still seeing their glucose drop. So, you know, take that advice, be patient, and understand that maybe you are actually progressing. You're just not measuring it in the right way to start with. And, you know, for all the bears out there, just be kind and be patient, and don't weigh yourself too frequently. As I say, it's like watching paint dry, and that can be very painful. So hopefully that advice will help you on your journey.